Now, after kicking off our new bowel cancer campaign, No Butts, on Monday's show, our pink sofa, of course, made its way up to Sunderland's Stadium of Light on Tuesday and today. Loose Woman Charlene White is joining us for our campaign for a very personal reason. First, though, here she is with our Deborah James and the bowel cancer symptoms we should all be aware of.
Two of us are here to break the poo taboo.
So, is everything
peachy down there? We're going to lift the lid on the signs and symptoms of bowel cancer.
As early diagnosis saves lives, time to get educated.
I know the headlines because I'm living with stage 4 bowel cancer, but do you?
So, let's talk number 2 and reveal the scoop on the poo.
B, blood in your poo or from your bottom.
O, obvious change in your bowel habit.
W, weight loss you can't explain.
E, extreme tiredness for no apparent reason.
L, lump or pain in your tummy. There's no buts about it. We've got to wipe away the embarrassment and start talking about it.
Trust your gut. If anything seems off, it's time to make some serious cubicle confessions.
Let's face it, we all poo. Even our favourite celebrities poo. Did you know that?
Yeah, they come in all different shapes and sizes.
Do you take time to look at your poo?
Yeah, I always take a look right before I flush.
You might be a once-a-day person, a 3 times a day person, but if you notice a difference...
You got to get down to your GP.
Absolutely. It's knowing what's normal for you. What are you, Charlene?
I got to say, Deborah, I'm very regular.
Well, Charlene joins me now. I loved that.
It was so much fun to film, and honestly, Deborah is just brilliant.
Isn't she?
Yeah.
She is truly inspirational, and it's all about... What I loved about that was, it's getting over the embarrassment. You know, you have to have a little bit of a sense of humour, you know, even with something so serious, but it's getting over that sense of shame.
For whatever reason, people get really embarrassed talking about their bowel movements. Talking about poo, people get really embarrassed about it. But the reality is, everybody does it. So why should we feel embarrassed about talking about it, feel embarrassed about being told to keep an eye on it, or feel embarrassed about going to our GPs if we notice that something is wrong? Yeah. We all do it.
Of course we do, and it's very personal for you because your mum, was she only 43 when she was diagnosed?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so young, isn't it?
And she passed when she was 47. Yeah.
Jeez. So this is kind of like a mission for you that you've been wanting, because you don't want what you and your family went through to happen to anybody else.
No, and people find it really bizarre when I sort of say having a mum that was in hospital all the time and I was doing our homework sitting on the hospital bed in Greenwich Hospital was our normal.
Right.
So we don't know any different. Me sort of having to take my brother to primary school before I went to school every morning was my normal because my mum would be having chemo and my dad had to go to work. So that's all we ever knew during that period in our life. So I don't know what it's like to sort of have like a normal childhood in your late teens, early 20s. I don't know. But what I do know is I don't want other families to have to go through that and lose a parent as a result of not spotting the signs and not going to their GP.
Because that's the thing, if you catch it early, Charlene, you've got a really, really good chance, haven't you? And the earlier, of course, the earlier the better.
Yeah, and that's where we really have to take responsibility for our own bodies. You know, I know that Deborah and I did it in a very joke way in that film, but what's wrong with making sure you check before you flush? Because that's the only way that you can know if something is wrong. No one else is in that toilet cubicle with you at that particular moment. So we have to take responsibility for keeping an eye on our own bodies. Because the reality is, if we don't, we could end up losing our lives. And none of us wants that to be happening prematurely, not at all.
No, absolutely not. And it's... People are getting it young as well. You know, sometimes people say, oh, it can't possibly be that. You know, if you've got the symptoms, because obviously we've got them on the leaflet, if you've got the symptoms and then go to your GP and they're kind of like, well, it can't possibly be that. But it's having it at the front of your mind, isn't it? I mean, you obviously have because of what happened to your mum. But we all have to just be having, you know, have these thoughts.
Yeah, and technology and science has moved on a lot in the last 20 years. And the way that they treat it and the drugs that are available weren't available 20 years ago.
Right.
And when my mum did go to the doctor about it and they didn't diagnose it for a while, could that have meant that she would have been around for longer? No one really knows. Sure. But the reality of it is, you know your body. You are in control of your body. You have to keep an eye on your body because so many different things could happen as a result. And literally, we've got all the signs here. The 5 signs on this card: blood in your poo, obvious change in your bowel habit, weight loss you can't explain, tiredness for no reason, lump and/or pain in your tummy. That's all. You can see it there. Those are the things that we're asking you to look out for, because the reality of it is, you see these things happening. You don't go to your GP. Your family could lose a mum. They could lose a dad. And yes, people think that you have to be older for this to happen. My mum was 43, as you said.
Yeah.
And I'm 41. I'm 2 years off the age that my mum was when she was first diagnosed, and that's something that is forever in my mind. And especially since becoming a parent myself, I just can't imagine what she was going through at that age with 3 children, when she knew that she was first diagnosed with it and when she knew that she wasn't going to survive. As a parent, that's one of the most awful things, I think, since I've become one. I think that's one of the most awful things that you can go through.
You're absolutely right. You really are. Thank you for doing that for us. I loved that. You know, I mean, it was just like 2 women just talking about something that we all do. Everybody does it. As I said on Monday, I exclusively revealed on Monday that Beyoncé poos.
Yes. I mean, that was a revelation, and I did see it was like top story in all the gossip mags. That yes, she does poo. That is completely correct.
Yeah. We all do.
We all do.
Thank you, Charlene. Thank you so much. And thanks, of course, to all the companies already supporting our campaign, helping us getting the message out there. Remember, loads more information on our website. That's where, of course, you can download our signs and symptoms leaflet. Don't forget, you can watch full episodes of Lorraine on the ITV Hub, and all the best clips, compilations and playlists right here on our channel. Just subscribe now and you'll never miss an upload. Click here to watch another video similar to this one, or click here to head to our channel's homepage to explore all of our exciting videos.